Hi everyone, my name is Lori and I'm the face behind Entre Tejidos Crochet. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. This will be another vlog of the final week of July where I hope to finish off a lot of WIPS so that then I can start August with like a clean slate and work on only things that I need to work on and not like have a backlog of things. But here's to hoping. Let's see what I'm actually able to do. Hi there. So today's update is to basically catch you all up on what I did between the last update in my previous vlog and today. And I have finished quite a bit. In my last vlog, I mentioned that after I made, I think it was 32, or at least the order was for 32, I ended up making 22 little autos like these. I actually got an order. The same person came back and she was like, could you make me 24 more? I did. I don't know how I did. I was able to finish those 24 in about 36 hours. Granted, they don't take me a whole lot. Now that I have the pattern memorized, they come together pretty quickly. So I spent most of the weekend working on that. The other thing that I did work on was another pattern test, and this one is for Laser Llama Boutique. It's for her Trixie Triceratops, and I made her in Big Twist plush, and she came out huge. This time around, I did use the little paw patches, and I love these so much. I'm so glad that I have 3 more pairs. So I think I'm gonna make a few more Dino snugglers to use them. Maybe I'll get started on Christmas gifts really early this year. We'll see. Finally started on a bigger Louisa blanket, and I'm going for these colors, for these like muted greens. This is it's almost like a white, but it's an off-white, and then this like light bluish gray here, because that is all I have left from my Basix Chunky stash. If you recall, I think it was in March, if I'm not mistaken, I made this king-sized quilt with all these granny squares that for a pattern test for Hops Crochet. And even though I did use quite a bit of that stash that I had, I still have, I kind of want to guess like 12 skeins of random colors. Mostly I have these colors, so I want to make bigger blankets, well at least bigger than the one that I made for the Dino, so that I can use up my stash with that. And at the same time, I'm testing my own pattern to make sure that it does make sense, that there aren't any issues that come up. Then between yesterday and today, I started working on my last Dino. This is my TRex Mod. You can see the little army of dinosaurs that I have back there. Currently, those are the Playful Brontosaurus, the Sleepy one, the Dilophosaurus, the Ankylosaurus, the Triceratops, Stegosaurus, and I'm missing one, oh, the Parasaurolophus. And then I just need to make the T-Rex, which if we want to go with babies, we can go with like a Velociraptor. But I was kind of stuck on the color scheme that I wanted to use for it. Then I got the idea, since all of these are very colorful, I'm gonna make him colorful, but not like that, if that makes sense. And I did. Look. All the toe beans are a different color. They are, I went for like a rainbow idea for them. I arranged them like so that one leg was with the warmer colors and the other one was with the cooler ones. But look at how this all pairs with these eyes. Like, I'm sorry, what? This is for sure one of those projects where the individual pieces had me excited, and then when it's coming all together, it's, oh my goodness, I am blown away by it for sure. I can't wait to finish him. Since he's the last of my dinosaurs, I am going to add, because in the pattern pack you get the instructions for a flower applique. I'm thinking about doing like a floral headband for it. So I would make that same applique for all 6 colors and then sew them on around the head. I think it's gonna look cute. He will also have his spots, because in the mod, in the TRex, I've added some spots where you get a needle and then you do some random spots throughout the body, just add a little bit of color throughout the body. So those spots are going to be in like all the different colors of the rainbow. And I'm excited. You can tell, right? You can tell that I'm super excited for this. The other thing that I'm super excited is that as of today, so today when I'm filming this part, it's Tuesday, July 29th, I can finally show you my super secret project, which means that I don't have to edit those parts that I make an oopsie and tell you what it is. But for the Market Mania Crochet-A-Long, which should be already in full fling. It is, at least at the time that I'm planning on releasing this video. This is Skyler Spider. And now it kind of all makes sense, right? You know, she talked about the pattern that in real life she doesn't like them. I don't like spiders in real life at all. Some of them, like the really like small ones, like okay, but I don't like them. For me, they are really creepy crawly, but here she's like all cutie crawly for sure. I love that the headband looks like spider web. Oh my goodness, I love her so much. So this is like the first one, like the prototype. She has her 8 legs, her 2 pincers, her 4 eyes. These are 20 and 25 millimeter. These are Sprite eyes that I have. And just look at that tushy. I mean, she's just amazing. Then my second go around with the pattern, we went big using Bernat Blanket in Twilight mixed in with basix chenille in teal, if I'm not mistaken. I gave her 35 and 30 millimeter eyes in the color Orange Blossom because I wanted to add this pop of orange. And since I wanted to add the orange, I wanted it all to be so mixy matchy. Oh my goodness, but you know what I mean. And just look, she is huge in Bernat Blanket. I'm waiting for an order of Premier Yarns to get here because I did order Little Bunny and Bunny yarn, which is the fluffy one from them, so that I can make another spider. Hopefully it'll get here before the pattern is released so that I can add those pictures. If not, I do have a plan B, which is going to be like a teal, pink, and purpley sort of spider. In other news, I signed up, so I believe 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that I donated 3 poly mailers stuffed full of plushies for the affected families in Texas. Now, I got added into another group called Cuddles for Courage, and I really love this idea. This time around, we are going to be making book and plushie sets. So the organizer has a list of books for kids, and all that she's asking is that whoever wants to help in the community to purchase the books, they can do that. And then she's asking the crocheters to crochet a plushie that could go with that book. For example, if the book is a very hungry caterpillar, that we crochet a very hungry caterpillar. It could be a lovey or it could be a plushie. I don't know right now how many books I signed up for, but I think it might be like 4 or 5. I know one is for like a hippo, and I already went and got Loops to Lovey's Alley Hippo. It's her small lovey hippo pattern because I want to make that specifically. And I'm excited about this project because it's fun. It's nice to give back to people who are going through a really tough time. The recipients of these plushie and book sets, these Cuddle sets, are kids that are affected by cancer. And hopefully everything will be all said and done for September. So I got about a month to start working on these plushies. I will first check my stash in case I have something that I can already send out to them, and then the rest I can just make new plushies for. I have also been brainstorming for, think of it as like topic videos. One of these topic videos that has been like on my mind is grabbing colors for projects. This is what people have said, that I have an eye for mixing up colors and whatnot. So what I'm thinking about that video is to actually share what I do to mix up my colors, what works for me. It's like, I'm not going to be like any sort of like color color scientist, if that's a thing, but for the most part just share, because I know the struggle. There have been times when I don't know what colors to use for my projects. There are other times when I already have the idea in mind and boom, just make it and that's it. But I don't know. I think it's a nice video to have out there, as well as yours truly bought quite a bit of new mica powder colors, new glitter colors. So we might be getting another like paint safety eyes with me sort of video further down the road. But we shall see. We shall see. So I am going to stop blabbing because this is the first update to this vlog and I don't want it to get too long. So I will check back in tomorrow and show you what I have. I have been very, very productive. One of the things that I'm kind of proud of is I went through my stash and I pulled out yarn that I wasn't going to use, that I knew I wasn't going to use in the next 6 months. Most of it, if not all of it, was cotton yarn and some worsted weight yarns in colors that I don't really use. And I thought about like making a story sale and selling them and whatnot, but I actually put them all into a bag. It was quite a lot. And I'm going to give it to one of the ladies at my boys' school. She does a lot of like hand puppets and things for like kids activities and whatnot. And last year I gave her a bag of yarn and she was like ecstatic for it, because she's like, she even told me like, oh, I used this sort of yarn to make like the hair and I made braids with this other yarn, and she was so excited. So I was like, I'm gonna bless her with a bag full of yarn at the start of the school semester. The great thing about it is that over here you can kind of get like, let me move you a little bit. So let's talk about this a little bit. So this third cube down here, it was mostly, well, it wasn't mostly, it was white, black, brown, beiges, creams mixed in with yellows and oranges, because all these 2 cubes over here, they were stuffed full with cotton yarn or worsted weight yarn or chunky yarn. Since I pulled those out, I made a lot of space up here for my neutral yarn colors. And then this cube over here will be oranges and yellows. These will stay the same, like greens and blues with pinks and purples over here. I might move the reds over to this cube over here. And then up here, all of those are just blanket yarn. But even though like you can't really tell, there is actually space to put yarn. Now I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm still on a yarn ban, but at least I don't feel so frazzled that I have a lot of yarn and don't have a space for it. So in the upper cube where I moved the neutrals, there's like a wall. So behind the wall of neutrals, I have a project bag and another full skein of yarn because I don't have a lot of neutral colors. So I'm using that space for projects that I need to work on. So that project bag has all the yarn that I have for the Be My Baby cardigan that I still plan on doing as soon as things calm down a little bit. Maybe, you know, if I stop pattern testing and designing patterns, maybe I can get a hop on it. But the other skein, I have this skein that I know that I originally bought it to make a baby blanket for it, with it, since it like eases into these nice soft pastel. It's mostly neutrals with like a little bit of pink. But I got picked to test Jelly Donut Knits, I think it's Laurel Bay Cardigan. I read over the instructions, and the way that it's constructed is that you make 2 big pieces and then you seam together. I'm gonna try to use this. Now, according to the instructions, if you are making the cardigan, you should size up your hook. So if you're using like a worsted weight yarn, which I typically use a 5mm crochet hook when using worsted weight yarn, then you would choose like a 6 or a 7mm if we're using worsted weight yarn. However, when I'm using 3 weight yarn, it's very, very thin. When I'm using 3 weight yarn, I typically go for like a 4, maybe even a 3.5. So I think I should be good if I still use a 5mm with this skein of yarn. The good thing about this also is that if I run out of yarn, I hope I don't run out of yarn, because this is almost 1,200 yards here. But if I do, I can easily just drop by Walmart and grab another roll of this and continue. And since it's going to be, I don't know, like it's not gonna have the same color on both sides. So if I happen to get another one of these rolls and it's not the same exact dye lot, I think it would be okay, I think. Here's to hoping that I can only just like use this. And the other thing that I'm super excited and I'm kind of pumped to like start, well not start, but actually finish it, is right now. This update is on July 31st. That means that anything I make starting tomorrow will not make it into the everything I made in July video. But I want to finish 2 big plushies. The good thing about it is that I finally sat down and finished all the little pieces for Ariete Axolotl. The only thing I have not made, and that's why I pulled out this orange, is the wings, because originally I thought I don't want to add the wings to the axolotl, but the more that I look at the picture, the more I'm like, it needs the wings. So all I need to do with Ariete is sew and stuff, except I also need to finish the wings. But that's my goal for today, to finish her. So not only did I make all the pieces for Ariete Axolotl, to be honest, I was dragging my feet because of one simple thing. Having to make 12 toes to assemble into 4 legs. But I thought it was going to take me longer, but I was able to finish all the arms yesterday. This morning I finished all the gills, even with attaching the fuzzy yarn on the outside. I'm excited. I really want to like finish it. But not only did I work a lot on Ariete Axolotl, I also made all the pieces to finish off Skyler Spider, and it's this variegated yarn. So right after this update, I'm gonna have so much fun finishing off these projects and taking final photos. Hopefully I can have everything done before 11:59 p.m. Like, I know no one is keeping tabs on me, like, oh, you finished it tomorrow and it's already August, but you included it in the everything I made in July video. It's only me, but you know, in order to be fair, in order to be honest, that's what we're doing. So these I need to finish. I could have done a whole lot more, but I'm trying to find them. That's why I love these boxes, because I can just, oops. Instead of going crazy and dumping everything around, I should have like pulled this beforehand, but I want to show you something that took me a little bit of time to make. If only I can grab the other one. As I mentioned, I did get to paint safety eyes yesterday. I wanted to make a new color for my Skyler Spider, and when I looked into my typical colors, the ones that I have on Etsy and the ones that I typically use, I did not have a bubblegum pink, so I made them. And to be honest, when I got this, like, it's like a powder that I use, I was not too sold on it. It kind of reminded me of that specific stomach medicine, the really pink one. It kind of reminded me of that. But in this, I don't know, I love it. It's like the perfect bubblegum pink shade. So I made a set of 35 and a set of 30 so that I can add them to the Skyler Spider. So since I got to painting those, I also painted the 2 safety eye orders that came in, and I hope to package them up tomorrow and then ship them out maybe tomorrow or Saturday. And one of the buyers got 18mm Flower Power, 18mm Lake Waters, and 18mm Moon Guardian. Actually, this isn't Moon Guardian anymore. This is Iceberg, but it used to be called Moon Guardian. I just kind of got a bit freaked out with copyright issues, so since Moon Guardian is more often than not associated with Sailor Moon, which is why I designed them, I just switched over the name. The next buyer got, when these little flakes are so hard to get off, they're not stuck, it's just that you need to really wipe them away. So this next buyer got 30mm charcoal, 30mm rose gold, 30mm celestial, and 30mm aqua. And since I overmixed the aqua one, so I added more mix than was called for, I actually painted 2 sets for me in case I want to make another spider or just whatever plushie. So here they are. They look slightly different. Let me explain. So for aqua, I have a layer of chunky glitter, and then behind it I have a layer of mica powder. And the layer, I sometimes mix the same layer of glitter with the mica powder layer so that you still get the chunky glitter, but it's a bit more mixed, so the chunky glitter is not that pronounced. It's fine for me because I can just like use it on whatever plushie. Now, when it's for an order, I do not do that. I do not mix it, but here's the difference. Think of it as like a B quality, if you will, but it's for my personal use. They still look very pretty. You still get that little sort of speck and shape of the glitter. Not only that, you can also pick up like little flakes of pink. That's on purpose. So the mica powder layer has a little bit of pink in it. Here, since it's not covered so much by the chunky glitter, you can actually pick it up here on this one better. So I painted 2 of those for myself, and then since I mentioned that I'm designing a person pattern inspired by Peter Pan and Snow White, I went ahead, since I already had my mixes and everything, I was just in the groove. I looked up the eye colors for Peter Pan and Snow White, and both of them have brown eyes. And I do have a mix that's brown, and it's this one. It's Caramel Drop, and I made quite a bit. I made 2 sets in 20 millimeter, 18 millimeter, and 16 millimeter because I wasn't sure. I'm not sure what size I'm going to need for my plushie. So better to have more than to have to like scramble at the end and like start painting eyes and whatnot. So I got some safety eyes on hand. That is my update for today. Tomorrow I hope to show you the 2 plushies all finished up, and then we can wrap up this week. And yeah, I will let you know. So I will check back in tomorrow. So we've made it to the last video clip of this vlog where it kind of turned into what I was able to finish, everything that I wanted to like clean off my slate before we start a new month sort of vlog. I am so excited with what I'm gonna show you. Truth be told, when I took the picture of the Ariete axolotl, my arm hurt because it's very, very heavy. Let me bring him in. Now, this majesticness is just the face. Let me adjust the little gills a little bit. Just look at that. Look at that, like, awesomeness. So, talking a little bit about it, I made 35 millimeter safety eyes in the color Orange Blossom, because I thought it would pair well and kind of break away a little bit from all the pink and purple that we have going on. And I was able to add this orange to the gills and the wings as well. I'm so glad I added the wings because it just, look at that. Look at that. It weighs about 3 pounds. I'm not exaggerating. That's why when I went to take pictures of it, that I was holding it like this, it was like, my arm hurts. This is how it looks like. This is the amazing, gorgeous tail with the wings and everything. And just like, look at that. It's very much a huggable plushie because of how you assemble the arms. They just like flop around you, kind of like how the head is flopping backwards. So by far, this is my biggest make of the month. of July. And then the other big make that I was able to finish was Skyler Spider, and just like, oh my goodness, I love her. She looks like so chic, kind of like a Barbie spider or Spider Barbie. Yeah. The eyes are by me. These are 35 and 30 millimeter bubble gum, and I just think that they are like on point with it. I love the little headband. My testers are going crazy with them. At the time that I released this video, I'm pretty sure Skyler Spider will be out either as part of the Market Mania Crochet-A-Long or on my Etsy, or maybe both. Regardless, if you want to make your own spider, check out the description box below. For sure, it was a very busy week. We were able to do quite a lot of things, and I can't wait to get started in August. Like, trying to look forward to August. I do have quite a few plushies that I need to mail out for the groups that I'm going to donate them to. I do have to work on some pattern tests. I have a few pattern ideas in mind, so let's see what we have in store for next week. That is all for today's video. If you like this sort of content, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking the video, commenting down below, sharing the video with someone who might like this, and I will see you next week with another video. Have a very crafty day. Bye.